After the breaking news yesterday of the 49ers trading up for the third overall pick and most likely taking a quarterback, I want to talk about who I think is the best fit for the 49ers, who I think is going to be the best player for the 49ers moving on, because I think that this is a very fair statement to say that this 49er team is in a win-now mode. This is a team that can go out, and I wouldn't be shocked if they win the Super Bowl next year or make it to the Super Bowl. Beating the Bucs is going to be challenging, but if you put the right pieces into this 49ers team, especially on that offensive side of the ball, you're going to find success in the 49ers franchise. Now, you see, I got the 49ers jersey on. First of all, guys, do me a huge favor. Also, do yourself a huge favor. If you love the 49ers, NFL, college football, whatever it is, please like the video and hit the sub button down below. We promise to not disappoint you with the content that we put out. We love football on this channel, college, NFL, and we talk about all teams. So this is definitely a channel for you. So definitely hit the sub button and like the video. It'd be greatly appreciated if you could do that. So the 49ers trade up for the third overall pick in this NFL draft. Before them come the Jacksonville Jaguars and the New York Jets. And in my opinion, there is three guys that the 49ers are going to be looking at to take with that third overall pick. Now, I think it's a fair statement to say Trevor Lawrence is off the board. He's going to go to Jacksonville. You saw Urban Meyer at his pro day. He was standing like right next to him the whole time. He marked his territory that Trevor Lawrence is his. If the Jaguars don't take Trevor Lawrence, I will be extremely shocked. So I say Trevor Lawrence off the table for the San Francisco 49ers. Then you move on to the next three guys. And really, in my opinion, you're looking at two guys for the 49ers, but I wanted to throw this third guy in just in case that they traded up for that third pick, because they like this guy and they just don't want anyone like the Falcons taking him before the 49ers had their pick. I'm pretty sure it was at 12 before. So those two guys, obviously, that I'm talking about, Justin Fields and Zach Wilson, and then that third guy that I was talking about, obviously being Trey Lance. You got three solid guys off the board there. Like, you look at all three of the guys. Now, I am going to critique all of them on what their weaknesses are and everything, but that doesn't mean that I think any of these guys are bad guys, and I don't think any of these guys don't have the capability to become successful in the NFL. These guys are all athletic freaks. Doing something in the best quarterback class ever to be this highly rated is really, really an accomplishment. So you got three great guys right there for the 49ers to take from. The one problem for the 49ers with this pick is that you have the Jets, who are also going to go after a quarterback at that number 2 spot. And honestly, who I think that they're going to take right now, it looks like Zach Wilson, especially after the pro day he had yesterday. His stock has risen up insane amounts. Like, his pro day, just rolling out and being able to throw across his shoulder like 40, 50 yards downfield, hit the wide receiver right in the breadbasket. It looks like the Jets are most likely taking Zach Wilson, but that's not what this video is about. I'm taking this video as if the 49ers could have their guy, whoever they take, because I don't know, maybe the Jets take someone else. Maybe the Jets take Jamar Chase or Penny Sewell or someone else, Devontae Smith. I don't know. We've seen crazier things happen in the NFL, but I'm taking this video as in, if the 49ers have all three of those guys on the board, you know what? We could even go 4. I said 4 by accident, but I could throw Mac Jones in there at the end if you want me to, but it's probably not going to happen. Which guy would the 49ers take? Let's get into Justin Fields first. Justin Fields, what I like about him is just the resiliency and the magnitude of games that he's played in and his performance in those big games, which is something that I think really lacks for the other two quarterbacks. If you add in Mac Jones, obviously, that also holds true to him, where he has played in massive games, big magnitude moments. But Justin Fields, his whole career, has been faced up with big games. You look at games like he had to play Penn State back in 2018 or 2019, which was a big game back then. Wisconsin back then was a big game. Couple of Big Ten championships. He's played at Georgia. Even though he didn't play that much at Georgia, he still understands how to prepare and everything for big moment games, because, you know, Georgia's constantly being faced with those and everything. Before transferring to OSU, where he goes, plays big games, he's got the whole national spotlight on him, making playoff games, making national championships. Justin Fields has played and performed in all of those. And that piece about resiliency that I said before, you look at the games like the Fiesta Bowl in 2019, where Justin Fields, yes, he's made mistakes in those big games. He throws a big interception to seal the game off for Clemson in that 2019 Fiesta Bowl. But guess what he does next year? Comes back and absolutely obliterates Clemson's secondary the year after that, throwing for 385 yards, 6 touchdowns, and 22 completions in that game. Justin Fields had an absolutely amazing game there. So I think what really would spark my interest as an NFL scout is that this kid has been able to play and perform in big, high-level games. He's gone up against some of the best defenses in all of college football in Alabama and Clemson, Penn State a couple of years ago. You look at Wisconsin's always had a pretty good defense. Northwestern this year, although he did have a shaky game, he understands what a good defense looks like. And I think that is where Justin Fields holds his strength against some of these other guys, is the fact that he really, really, really knows what it takes to be good at the NFL level. He's played against those good defenses that I'm not saying that the defenses he faced in college are going to be like the defenses he's playing in the NFL, because NFL defenses are way better, but you're going up against Sunday players. You're going up against Sunday players every single week, and I think that is important into taking into account with Justin Fields. One of his weaknesses is just consistency. I feel like Justin Fields' consistency level, you saw it this year. There were games where he's either lighting a fire, where he's on fire the whole time. He's just dropping dimes left, right, center to Smith Jigba. He's going to Garrett Wilson. He's going to Chris Olave. Or he's just having a bad game like Northwestern. I think consistency is what is going to strike the scouts as a most concerned point for Justin Fields. But if he can figure out the consistency level and get consistent play constantly on the field, I really like where this kid is at. He's an athletic freak, a guy that I would love to have on my team. Next up, let's move on to Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson, I talked about his pro day earlier. He had an amazing pro day, just showing off his athleticism. This kid has got so many comparisons to Patrick Mahomes. Honestly, I don't really see it as much. I see where people are coming from, but to compare him right now to Patrick Mahomes, I think is a bit of an overstatement. Again, that's just my opinion. You could think completely differently, but that's not saying that this kid isn't a freak of nature athlete, because this kid can run all over the field. He can throw the ball basically anywhere. My concern about him is his ability to play against the good teams, the good defenses, and all stuff like that. The biggest game that Zach Wilson had this whole season, obviously being the big College game day one, where they traveled down to Conway, South Carolina to take on the Coastal Carolina Chanticleers. He puts up, BYU's offense puts up 17 points in that game. What does he throw in that game? He throws 19 completions, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, 240 yards. Playing in big games, going up against good defenses, especially in this NFC West. Like, you're talking about, Zach Wilson is going to be going up weekly against Aaron Donald. He's going to be in your face while you have to try to throw the ball, while you got Jalen Ramsey draped all over your wide receiver. The Cardinals and Seahawks also have really, really good defenses. It's a lot different going from group of 5 defenses to Sunday full on. You're getting the cream of the crop, the best of the best constantly. Has Zach Wilson played against enough Sunday talent to be able to adapt the NFL? Will he be able to slow the game down once he has that ball in the hands in the NFL? Because I guarantee you, the group of 5 games come a lot slower. You don't have as big of guys on the line. The hits don't hurt as much. The hits aren't as hard. The D-line isn't as fast. The cornerbacks aren't as, what do you want to call it, fast as well. Like, if you have wide receivers who can constantly burn your corners in college, like let's say Alabama, it's a lot easier to play quarterback than when you go in the NFL and you have the best of the best cornerbacks going up. That's what my main concern is over Zach Wilson is this guy ready to play on Sundays against good defenses? So that's my main concern with him. Moving on to Trey Lance, kind of the same thing with Trey Lance, honestly, because I know this kid has the same talent that all these other guys do. He has the arm, he has the athleticism or whatever. He played FCS football his whole career at North Dakota State. Now, we've seen other guys from North Dakota State. Carson Wentz, obviously, he struggled last year, but Carson has had some good seasons. He's now in the Colts. Trey Lance, I have to take his career stats because he played 1 game last season, since FCS spring ball is right now currently in the spring. And they did play 1 game. I think it was against like Central Arkansas back in October or September. He threw 30 touchdowns, 1 interception, and threw for 2,947 yards at North Dakota State. Again, Trey Lance going up against the big talent. Has he seen enough? Has he performed at the level that is confident enough for one of these teams like the 49ers to go up and reach for him? Again, I think that this is mainly between Justin Fields and Zach Wilson, but I do not want to count out Trey Lance just in case if the 49ers felt urged enough to go out and grab that pick just to take Trey Lance. If they know that's their guy and they want to go grab him, they're going to trade up for the pick. Again, I think it's very unlikely, but again, kind of the same thing for Trey Lance. is he ready to play at that NFL level? Now I could talk about Mac Jones. Mac Jones, of course, one of the best deep ball throwers in the NFL. Yes, you could say he did have open wide receivers all the time because he played with the best wide receivers in the country. And Devontae Smith, Jalen Waddle, John Mechie. He had Najee Harris out of the backfield. And you have Landon Dickerson and then Alex Leatherwood on your O-line. It was a pretty good team. Pretty good Alabama offense. The mobility is what scouts look at Mac Jones and be concerned about, is because you got every other guy on this board being very mobile, and Mac Jones, not saying that he's completely immobile, but he's not as good as getting out of the pocket as those other guys were. He's not as good as moving around with his feet. I think the arm talent is definitely there for Mac Jones, but do I think the 49ers are going to reach for a top 3 pick for him? No, I do not. So I'm going to go, who do I think is the best fit for the 49ers? I'm going to stick with my guts and what I've said all along, who is the second best quarterback in this draft after Trevor Lawrence, and I'm going with Justin Fields. I honestly believe that Justin Fields will be the best bet for this 49ers team. You got the mobility. You're going to have the weapons on offense. You got George Kittle. You got, of course, Deebo Samuel, number 19. Let's go. Deebo's the best wide receiver in the NFL. Brandon Ayuk, another guy who they just signed. This is a good team, and the 49ers always find a way to fill it out of the backfield. You add Justin Fields to the mix, I feel like you just have so many weapons to constantly be scared of. You got the deep ball threat all the time with Justin Fields because he can constantly keep throwing it on dimes down there. He can move in the pocket or whatever. You're going to have George Kittle constantly drawing attention. Yes, you could have those same things with Zach Wilson, but is Zach Wilson prepared yet to go up against the Seahawks, the Rams defense, and the Cardinals defense, constantly, weekly, in and out? That's my main concern with Zach Wilson. And I've been a huge Justin Fields fan for a while, so you may call me biased, but I honestly feel like Justin Fields is the best player for the 49ers. And I think he'll fall to them. I think that Zach Wilson is going to go to the Jets, and I think that Justin Fields is going to follow the 49ers, and they're going to take him gladly. And the 49ers are going to be back in business after taking a 1-year leave of absence from the playoffs. So thank you guys so much for tuning into this video. I appreciate it. Definitely like down below. Comment anything about the 49ers and this pick. Subscribe, and thank you for watching, and definitely come back next time.